Excuse the frog in my voice. I just started getting a little bit of a cough last night, of course. But I've been in practice for 33 years. So I'm going back for my 40th high school class reunion this year in July of 2024. But I've been in practice out in Albuquerque for 33 years. I came straight here from Palmer Chiropractic College in Iowa. Which is a great story, is because I worked under a guy named Stephen Kit Taylor for a little bit, and he was, I think, the first president of the ACNB, American Chiropractic Neurology Board. And he sat me down when I interviewed with him, and he says, Michael, he goes, tell me what an adjustment does. And, you know, I went to Palmer, so we got all this crappy philosophy. Well, it's not crappy philosophy, it's good philosophy. But the water, the pressure in the hose and less water comes out and all that stuff. And he's like, no, tell me what a mechanoreceptor does. And I was like, a what? He goes, tell me what an interneuron does, or the spinal thalamic tract, or the spinal cerebellar tract. So I'm like, kid, I learned those like 3 years ago. What good does that do? And he wrote out, described it on a piece of paper, what from a mechanoreceptor, from the receptor to the cord, from the cord interaction up the spinal cord to the brainstem, to the thalamus, to the cortex. And he goes, that's what an adjustment does. And I was like, I've got to learn this stuff. Why didn't they teach us that in chiropractic college? In 93 or 94, started my diplomat journey, got my diplomat in 1996. And then I did neurodiagnostic testing with Dr. Brock. Then we did my fellowship in brain injuries and rehabilitation. Did that with Cedric and Jason and John McLaren, some of these other mentors. And ever since then, I've just kind of been doing neurology, but really I've got into it since I think it was 2015 when we got our fellowship. So I do a lot of stuff with traumatic brain injuries, but I actually do a lot with acquired brain injuries. My practice is a bit of some TBI, but I'm getting some of the more complex cases that are acquired brain injuries. So I do some functional medicine, but I have worked in collaboration with some other doctors out here in New Mexico. I also have an advanced practice certification, so we can prescribe a limited amount of stuff, but I can inject. So I've done quite a few injections. We use different homeopathics for pain, for muscle spasms, trigger points, with some pretty good results. And actually I can mix that in with some of our neurology with it. So I kind of got a large bag of tricks that I've been using for quite some time. One, I'm empathetic, I'm still learning, and I'll never stop learning. I try to read a study a week, sometimes a couple of weeks. I get on the pot. I'm opening up my phone. I'll see if I can study it a little bit. So coming with me is, I think I'm gonna have the answer, but if I don't know the answer, I'm gonna find it from somebody else. I think the 33 years of experience is a lot to fall back on, because I've had my failures. I'm not gonna brag that I can fix everybody. If there was somebody who could fix everybody, then they would be the only doctor working. I'm going to be honest. I'm authentic, and I'm gracious for who I work with, but I also work, and I tell my patients, hey, I learn from you every day with it. So that's what I would kind of say, but might be a little bit of an advantage for me. Our mission statement, the top three things is integrity, loyalty, and honesty. And then we love what we do, and we treat our patients like family. And with those 5 mission statements, I can hit those with the patient. It's rewarding. And when I had a patient come in today, and she comes down from Taos, New Mexico, and she was referred to me by a very well-known functional medicine doctor who lives in Taos. And I wasn't the only one working, but she was grateful. She goes, you're a little bit of it. I go, I didn't really do that much with her, but you sent me to the right people and we did the right things. She did neurofeedback in our office and did great with it. And she goes, I'm grateful for just what you did. So I look for those wins. And when I get a win with a patient, especially if it's a brain injured patient, we get their brain working and they're like, I can do things I haven't done in years. I've had people tell me I haven't done this in 20 something years, and now I can actually balance on one foot, or I can turn to my left without almost falling over. So that is my drive are those rewards. Again, back to my mission statement, they're going to get honesty, and I'm going to tell them the truth. If you needed to go this way, you're going to get that. I'm not going to say my way's the best way, but I'm going to give them different options and tell them my experience. And I will also go, hey, if I need to ask another person, another one of the mentors, or somebody outside of the mentor program a question, I'm going to go get that answer for them. Dressed like this today because I just came from the gym. I had a quick little time to go to the gym after a Friday morning work. So I go to the gym 3-4 days a week. I mountain bike. I live here in New Mexico, so we have all 4 seasons. So we have some unbelievable and incredible skiing out here. I ski in Taos a lot, ski in Santa Fe. Those are the things I love to do. I'm been married for 27 years to Lucia, my lovely wife. We have 2 boys, and they're both out of the house. Got one in the Navy, one lives in Florida. Could not talk either of them going into this profession, but we're kind of newly, what's the word I'm looking for? We have a new granddaughter. So we just saw them last week in Norfolk, Virginia, my son in the Navy. So I'm really, at 57, not ready for it, but I'm really loving it, being a grandfather to a little girl. And I always wanted a little girl from my wife. And after my second son, she goes, I'm done. No more. I'm like, wait a minute. Now I have a granddaughter, which I think might be even better. I teach Sunday school to 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders here in Albuquerque. And I look so forward to that one because those children are, they're developing a little bit of an attitude, but they're still innocent. They tell you honestly if you got bad breath or they don't like what you're doing or something like that. But it's just so fun in that innocence. And, you look in the scripture and Jesus said that, the children are just, they should be accepted. We should act like children without any type of prejudice. And that's probably one of my biggest things. Like I should try, and it's hard, and I am not perfect, but it's hard not to judge people. And I hate being judged for things. So that probably is my biggest mantra, is just, authenticity, integrity,